Just 1 minute.
Yes, Dhimenji, we can start.
Yes, you must.
Yes. On behalf of Jaina and Prabhaji and myself, I welcome one and all. Jai Jinendra to everybody. We'll start with the Mangalacharan and then I'll introduce the junior speaker and then we'll have the presentation of the junior speaker and then I'll introduce the resource person today and then we'll have her presentation and then I'll be talking about Uttam Brahmacharya and then we'll have the question answer session. So that is the line of activities for today's session. So I begin with the
Darshana ji, can I have a request, please?
Yes.
I actually got to go because I'm in US only right now and I'm leaving tomorrow early morning. I got somewhere to go and some people are waiting. So can I take my session first and can we have the rest of it afterwards?
Yashvi, is it okay with you? Yashvi, is it okay with you? You can do it later after the senior scholar.
Yeah, that's okay.
No problem. Okay, then we'll have the senior scholar speak first and then we'll have the junior presenter.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you to accommodate.
Thank you. So, Dhimenji, is it okay, Dhimenji?
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah. So I request you all to kindly close your eyes, fold your hands and get connected to the inner core, the cosmic energy in and out. Namo Arihantanam. Namo Siddhanam. Namo Airiyanam. Namo Jayanam. Namo Loe Savasahunam. Eso Panchanamokaro Savapavapanasano. Mangalanam cha Savvesim Padamam Vai Mangalam. Yeah, Jai Jinendra, once again. I'll quickly introduce our senior scholar, who is a stalwart in her own way. And she's, I would like to say so much about her, go on and on and on. But then I have a brief profile. I would like to read that first and then say a few words and then request her to make the presentation. So today we have Swanubhuti ji, and she is, the founder of Learn to Liberate Foundation, of which I'm a member, and I've been with her for 5 years. And more than that, she's the granddaughter of the great Dr. Hukamchandji Bharal, and daughter of Shuddhatma Prabhaji Tadaiya, and a Swadhyai, and very passionate about the work she's doing. Not only that she's making 2,000 plus people all over the world study the 5-year program, and she has around 50 plus well-trained teachers to teach Jainism very, 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 very effectively. She is a Six Sigma black belt and lean trained professional with 20 plus years of cross-functional experience with multi-dimensional corporates like Jito, Incubation and Innovation Foundation, Accenture Consulting, Multi-Commodity Exchange, Birla Sun Life Insurance, and ICICI Prudential. So here we have a personality who is balanced the spiritual life and material life. She's blended both these lives so beautifully, and she's a role model for so many people. Currently, she's an independent director at Motilal Oswal Financial Services Limited, Motilal Oswal Asset Management Company Limited, and Allied Digital Services Limited, Arihant Capital Markets Limited. She's an avid reader and speaker on practical spirituality. And she's, I told you, the foundation of Learn to Liberate. We have to learn to liberate. And the Bara Bhavna, Anushilan, the Das Lakshan, all are part of that program. And she spearheads this Paramagam, where we study the, the 5 Paramagam of great Acharya Kundakundev. So it is an initiative, a spiritual course with 50 plus batches and 9 countries in Hindi, English, Gujarati, Marathi, and Tamil. So in Chennai, where I live, we have at least 10 batches. And I was conducting 4 batches for this program. And right now, 2 batches. So that is about the Paramagam Honors course. You can Google and you can find a wide spectrum of activities and details related to this program. So she's currently making a mainstream Bollywood movie under the same banner addressing problem solving through spiritual principles. She's a postgraduate and Jain Darshan Shastri with specialization in Jain philosophy and logic. She's an established speaker on Jainism. You have her YouTube. You just have to Google Swanubhuti and you have her YouTube videos and you can listen to her. She has various engagements at local, national, and international level. Currently, she's in New Jersey doing the Dasalakshan for the New Jersey Samaj. She has taught at Mumbai, Department of Jainology, Mumbai for over 8 years. She's organized seminars and workshops across India for youth on relevance of Jainism in practical life. And so I can go on and on about her, but I would not like to come between you and her. And I would straight away request her to deliver her talk today for 40 minutes. Thank you. And over to Swanubhuti.
That was a very long introduction. Wasn't needed. Thank you, Priyadarshana ji. Om Namaha Siddhebhyaha. So the topic today that we want to discuss about is karma. Now, if we were to just straight translate the word karma in English, what would it really mean? A karma is actually an action, isn't it? What you do is the karma. So a karma is an action. Now, as we all know, that any action has an equal and opposite reaction, isn't it? So the way it works is that whatever action I do and the action, if it trespasses in the realm of Pudgal, which is Jad, which is inanimate, the inanimate knows only one rule, which is to every action, there is equal and opposite reaction. So if we were to take a ball and bounce it, when would the ball stop bouncing? That's my question to you. The harder you bounce, the harder the ball bounces. You bounce, the ball bounces back. You bounce, the ball bounces back. You say, I will wait till the ball itself stops bouncing back. But to do that, what you really need to do is you stop bouncing. Even when you stop bouncing, the ball may bounce for a few more times, but gradually settle out. So the same thing is happening in our case as well. As souls, as jeev, as consciousness, we do certain actions. Now, there are two types of actions. One is the action of an evolved, enlightened soul. And there's another action which is of the others, the one who are in illusion. So when an evolved soul, an enlightened soul, they act only as pure consciousness. And when there is pure consciousness, there is no such reaction because you're still not trespassing to the realm of anybody else, which is here in case Pudgal. So Pudgal cannot identify, or Pudgal does not have the required sensors to acknowledge pure consciousness. But as soon as, the one who is in illusion, the one who is still not evolved, the one who doesn't really know what's the right thing and wrong, he doesn't know what is my scope of things and what is beyond. You need a visa, when you are, crossing the borders. You say, I didn't know. You still get caught, isn't it? Ignorance cannot be an excuse. So similarly here also, what we try doing all the time is we try to trespass. We try to interfere in somebody else's reality. You try to dictate your terms in somebody else's world. And when you do that, with that illusion, with that attachment, with that aversion, when that becomes my action, you're bound to have a reaction. And that's where the jeev gets stuck. That's where all the sansari jeev are really stuck, because ignorance may be the reason, but that's an excuse. Why? Because you didn't know you needed a visa and you still crossed the border, the government can't spare you. You were carrying something which you aren't supposed to carry, and you said, I didn't know. And they say, no, this was a restricted item, it was a drug. No, you cannot maybe carry marijuana. And you're still carrying it. I didn't know, I just found the plant, I just picked it, I just kept it. Ignorance cannot be an excuse. You'll still be subjected to whatever, it's a crime if you have done. Ignorance is also a crime. In fact, it's the biggest crime. Why? Because if you knew, probably you would have avoided. You would have hidden, you would have done something. But when you don't know, you just fall into the trap straight. You are the easy target. So, when you talk about the actions of a jnani jeev, those who are not evolved, those who are not enlightened, those who are still in illusion. So, they try to interfere in the whereabouts of other people, other things, and even if they understand the notion of karma as a dravya karma, which is in the form of the Pudgal, they even want to regulate that. And when you try to trespass here, you get stuck. Why? Because you do the action which was not needed, you bounce the ball. Karma is nothing but the ground which is bouncing it back. Why? Because you bounced the ball on it. And when it comes and gives you fruits, what do? If you did not bounce back, if you did not hit it back, after a while it would have settled. But no, we don't stop our efforts ourselves. What we keep doing is that, I had a loss in my business and I cried. I bounced back. I reacted. To every reaction, I keep reacting. To every reaction, I keep reacting. Who was the origin of these actions? I was the origin. The action primarily was mine. Pudgal is just reacting. So who has to understand, the ground, the ball, or the one who's hitting the ball and bouncing it? Yeah, Yashvi, do you understand what I'm saying? How do you stop the ball from reacting? How do you make it, stabilize it? So when the karmas give you fruits, and you refuse to react. You refuse to react in all kind of circumstances, whether bad, even if they are good. I got a lottery. That was fine. Okay. You lost all the money. Okay. What did you do? No reaction. No reaction is the best reaction. So, what we really need to do is, we need to understand. Why? Because we are ignorant. Because we don't understand. So the first primary responsibility is that you're traveling. You're on the go all the time. Now that's another irony. You can stay at home probably when you talk about like real traveling. But in terms of time, we are constantly traveling, isn't it? You don't stop. You sleep, but you travel. You sit at one place, but you're still traveling. In time, we keep constantly traveling. We are never static. And when you're not static, and when you're constantly traveling, you're going from one place to another, then you need to know, where are you going? Whether the place you're headed towards is right, whether you are already in someone else's territory or you are in your own territory. You need to know where you are, where you come from, where you should go. And if you don't know that, then please find the answers. Whose responsibility is it? Your parents? It's their responsibility. The government? It's their responsibility. Whose responsibility is it? It's my responsibility, isn't it? Because I am ignorant. And you know what? Nobody can make you understand but you yourself. That's the fact of life. Nobody can ever make you understand something you are yourself in denial of. And we are constantly in denial. Why? Because we know it all, isn't it? That's what we think about ourselves. As many heads are there, that number of thought processes are also there, which means people vary in their opinions, in their thought processes. Can truth be so many? Yeah, it's the truth for me. But no, the truth cannot be subjective, isn't it? A fire is hot, so it is hot. You think it's not hot and you still want to put your hands in there? No, I believe it's not hot. I mean, you are free to believe. But then everybody, in their own opinion, whatever they feel, cannot be right if they are all conflicting opinions. And in the world, I mean, I've met people now who are saying, I don't believe in the concept of time. I think it's relative. It doesn't exist. I mean, I can feel I'm traveling in time. I feel there was a yesterday, there's a today, and there's going to be a tomorrow. How can you refuse the existence of time? But there are people who believe that. There are people who don't believe in the existence of the soul. But who knew? Who's conscious about the fact that there is no consciousness? And you say, I'm conscious about the fact, then you are that consciousness, isn't it? It's like negating your own words when you say there is no consciousness. It's a chemical reaction, a few people might think. Really? A chemical reaction? It never happens in dead bodies. It never happens in robots. You feel you are a chemical reaction. You feel you don't exist. So what I'm trying to say here is, there are a lot of hard facts. Now, people don't believe in those facts. That does not mean that the reality would alter or change, because there could only be one reality. People who align to that reality, their knowledge is called right. And people who don't align to that reality, their knowledge is called wrong. But the matter of the fact, as we know, is that reality is only one, and there is reality. And we got to find that out. And there are rules, isn't it? Rules keep changing, although in government cases, but there are rules. And even if the rules change, you're supposed to update yourself. You can't do as you wish. So this is what we need to do, because this is the most important thing. Now, what really happens is you have a body language, isn't it? God is a body language. We are understanding the karma a little more probably. You know, what is their role and how does it work? And do karmas make me, go places? Are they in power? Are they in control? So let's try to answer this question for ourselves. What is a body language? Does the body language define and decide how I feel? Or how I feel regulates how it appears on the outside? Think about that as well. Because a lot of times what really happens is, I want to look honest. What's the best way to look honest? Can I ask you that question? I want people to perceive me as honest. I want to look honest. What is the best way to, get that? How do I get that right? My simplest answer would be honest, isn't it? Then however you look, you smile, you cry, you look in the eye, you look downwards, you speak, whatever. If you're actually honest, what you do will also reflect honesty. But if you're not honest yourself, and then you'll try to look honest, yeah, maybe you still can be successful, maybe one time, maybe two times. All the film stars do that. What they are not, they try to show. They don't love the other character, but yeah, in their eyes, you can still see the love. But how long lasting can that be? Possibly. It won't last. It will never last. Why? Because it has to have depth of reality. If you felt that way, you will always look honest. But if you didn't feel that way, you will not. So what is a body language? It's just a reflection of what you are inside. Similarly, what is a karma? Are they very powerful? Do they decide? Do they dictate? So, for example, if I decide today that, come what may, I can have, good acquaintances, bad acquaintances.
Yes,
I decide to ignore. I decide to totally ignore them. And I'm not paying it any heed at all. I am already in my pure conscious state. That is my object of knowledge. I am enjoying the bliss that I find in the peace I find in my pure conscious state. Still, you have a body, which means some or the other karma is giving you the fruits. Still, the weather may be good or bad. There may be noise. A lot of other acquaintances or circumstances which probably the karma is trying to regulate. But did it impact you? If it didn't, what did you do? We recently had a topic of samvar. That the moment you stop reacting, the moment you don't react to the fruits of the karma also stops. It starts reflecting in the karma. The influx stops. If you continue in your pure conscious state a little further, the karma which you had already accumulated also starts shedding. They are just a reflection of what's going on inside. They don't do anything. They don't make you do anything. They're there. They are a reflection. So a lot of times we feel that karma is very strong and I need to, maintain good karma and I need to get rid of bad karma. And, at times we feel that, I'm in this misery state just because of karma, but all that is not a fact. The best part of the story is that karma has no consciousness. And that's the most important part as well. Why would I say that? Why would I say that? Because if karma had consciousness, mind you, karma would have been God. The God which the world perceives as the most powerful being who can, control the world and do things. If karma had consciousness, probably karma would have been that God. But the beauty of the thing is, Karma is totally inanimate. Karma is nothing, just the ball. Karma is nothing, just the ground. You have to begin the revolution. The ball or the ground will never begin the revolution. It's always you who has to stop doing what you are doing. It's you who has to change. Karma will never change on its own. How can it? Not really possible for it to do that. Why? Because it's just reacting. You have allergies, isn't it, at times? What do you do to get rid of the allergies? It's very simple. What do? Just stop your exposure to that, isn't it? So karma is also an allergy. You stop your exposure. Where do I make the change? That change will happen inside me, not out there. And we are so foolish, rather, I would say, that we don't only focus on the karma, but rather we go all out. And if a bicycle hit my car, I get angry at the bicycle. And the man who's riding the bicycle, what I end up doing is, I start abusing that person. I may, maybe, if my anger is big, I may go ahead and abuse and hit the person outright there. So what do? Brahmachari Chaitanya ji, I think you're pinging me personally. I cannot actually read the messages while I am talking. But yeah, you can connect with Priyadarshana ji or Prabha ji and take my contact details. Thank you for your compliments. Okay. So, coming back to what we are talking about, that karma has no consciousness, and that is in my favor. Why? Because if karma had consciousness, it would have been the God, which I don't want it to be. And the good news is, it does not. Now the thing is, you have consciousness. Do we have consciousness, or even we don't have consciousness? We do. So, a God can only be a God who has consciousness, isn't it? Because how can a stone, how can something which has got no consciousness control anything else, isn't it? It has to be mechanical. So inanimate world works on the principles of mechanics, which is action, reaction. It is mechanical. It has no will. It can't change, even if it wants to change. But in my case, I am my own God. And why I am my own God? Because if I will find bliss, from where will I derive that bliss? Myself. Actually, what is a karma? If you know a little bit of Hindi, there are 6 karak. When any action happens, there are 6 elements, you can say, what do you call them? Priyadarshana ji, karakon ko kya bolenge? Do you have the right word for it? You have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, in grammar, karak means the case. But in spirituality, karak means the defining elements of any event. Defining
okay,
factors.
I'll try to explain. Maybe everybody can find their own words for this. So whenever any action happens, there has to be a person who did it. He is the doer. Whatever action happens, that's the karma, the action itself. Who helped? What was the instrument or a tool which helped get to, which helped you do the action? That's called a sadhan, or the instrument. These are all karak, they're all participating in the action happening. For whom did you do the action? That becomes another very important element there. From where did you derive that? So that is another, a 5th karak that you talked about. And on whose basis were you able to do it? Whose support was there? So that becomes another karak. So now here, when I'm talking about, karma, what is a karma? Karma is whatever happened, whatever got done. So who does it? That's the doer, isn't it? Now, the important thing is that the karma that we talk about, the karma that those 8 types of karmas or 148 types of karmas that we talk about, what are they? They are like your computer storage. So, whatever goes in the storages, if there is an input, that gets saved in the storage, isn't it? And then you get an output. So that storage part, as you would say, probably, it gets converted into a computer language, but still the cause were you. That's what you would think. So you would think that those 8 karmas that we are talking about, they are the ones for whom I am responsible. But the fact is, what? As per Jainism, there is a concept called nimitta and upadan. Now, one is real doer and one is the doer on whom you just put the blame on, which is not the actual doer. So, for example, a student, he topped the class. And when he topped the class, so the credit goes to the coaching class as well. But if the coaching class were responsible, like totally responsible for his topping the class, then all the students would have topped. Why? Because they were nimitta. They were instrumental, but not directly. They were instrumental, but they were themselves not studying and appearing for the exam. So they are the nimitta. When you talk about the upadam, the child himself had it in him. That's why he topped. So, when he topped, the upadam, this word is very important for us to understand. Actual doer is the upadam and not the nimitta. So, if we are talking about us, the one who changes is the karta. When a pot is made, the clay itself changes into the form of pot, isn't it? So who is the karta of pot? Who did the pot? Who's the doer? The clay. That's how it works. So here what we need to understand is that if I am happy, why am I happy? Because you appreciated me? No. Because I got a lot of wealth? No. Because I have great spouse, great kids, the weather is good? No. I am happy because I choose to be happy. I am responsible for my happiness. I can still be happy independently. Even if everything, the entire world goes in another direction, still nobody can ever compromise on my happiness. That's the fact. So if you look at our sadhus, those who have renunciated the world, how do they work? No amount of atrocities, no amount of, external calamities, no amount of any adverse situations can ever impact their happiness. Because the happiness comes from within. And where are we wrong? We are finding that happiness elsewhere. Hence, we are called the ignorant ones. So what is my true karma? What should be my true karma? Knowing that my true karma is pure consciousness. That is the right karma. And when this karma happens, that karma that you call karma, the so-called karma, the karma which is responsible for your miseries here in this world that you feel they are, they become ineffective. They are immaterial. Why? Because you give them respect. And hence they become so big and powerful. The moment you stop giving them respect, the moment you appreciate, you start appreciating yourself, that's the revolution moment. That's the moment you are in control. That's the moment you be as you are. You decide your own future, your destiny. And your future, your destiny is in the form of pure consciousness. Because what you need to do is just be. What you need to do is exactly what our Arhat and Siddh do all the time. They are just the observer. They just witness. That's our real karma. But we are never introduced to this karma, which is our real karma. We only think punya and papa are the karma. We only think that attachments, aversions are the karma. Good deeds or bad deeds are the karma. We only think that the karma that binds us is the karma. So we are so focused on that karma, we are so obsessed with that karma that we forget that the real karma is my natural self. Whatever I do is my karma. I do the right, that becomes my karma. I do the wrong, then that becomes my karma. So the solution is simple. Do the right and we are sorted. So with this, I think I would like to conclude my talk today that karma is the action. The action can be in two forms: the right action, my natural action, which is in the form of pure consciousness; the action that I think I do in the form of attachment, which is not pure consciousness, which is what ignorant people do. So when you are ignorant, Tommy has to go on mute.
So Anubhuti ji, please unmute yourself. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so as you were trying to conclude that, so the karma that you fear, the karma that you're trying to shed, the karma that you are so obsessed with all the time, the karma where you try to be choosy that I want the good ones and not the bad ones, actually they are all immaterial. They are made of pudgal. They are just a reflection of what you actually are. So to regulate them, you don't need to regulate them. Like a fan, I mean, if you need to stop the fan, you don't have to go and catch the fan and stop it. What you just need to do is switch it off. So similarly, if you want to stop your karma cycle, that cycle of karma, which is not in your natural state, what you need to do is just be in your natural state and that karma will stop. And then the real karma will come up and that will be in the form of pure consciousness. So yes, with this, I would like to conclude. Thank you so much. Jai Chinnan.
Swanubhuti ji, you're leaving right away, or should I do the question answer session, or in your absence, we'll do it?
Yeah, I would prefer that if possible.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, thank you. I'll go through the, I'll definitely go through the YouTube link of this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On
Jai
behalf
Shri
of Jana, we would like to thank you for taking out time from your busy schedule and delivering this talk for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Jai Shri everybody. Bye-bye.
Yeah, Jai Jinendra. So first I'll introduce Yashvi Jain and then we'll have her presentation. Yashvi, are you ready? And then we'll do the question answer session. Yeah. So you will have questions from Yashvi's session as well as Swanubhuti ji's session today. So Yashvi Jain is from Buffalo in New York, and she's 10 years of age, and she studies in Transit Middle School, grade 5, and she's also associated with the Jain Center there, with the Hindu Jain culture and the Jain Center there. And yes, definitely she's interested in Jainism, and that is why she's here going to make this presentation on today's topic. And what is today's topic? It is Uttam Brahmacharya, right? And then her hobbies and interests include swimming, running, ice skating, and her mentor at home is her parents and her grandparents. And she is the daughter of Vartika Jain and Atul Jain. Yashvi, we welcome you and we request you to kindly make your presentation. Yeah.
Thank you. Should I start?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Karma. What is karma? Karma is a result of what you are doing and feeling. You do karma with 3 things: man, vachan, and kaya. Mind, speech, and body. An example of karma is if your foot got stumped by a stone, whatever you will think of the person who put it there would be man, and whatever you speak of the person would be vachan, and lastly, whatever action you do is kai. If your man, vachan, and kai was good about the situation, then that would be punya. If your man, vachan, and kai was bad about that situation, then that would be pap. Jeev and Karm. There has been a strong relationship between Jeev and Karm since eternity. Jeev is wandering in the world and experiencing sadness and sorrow because of karma. In all four gatis, there is nothing that does not have karma. Without getting rid of karma, no jiva can attain pure happiness. Why is our soul bonded with karma? Moha, rag, dvesh, that is mithyatva, are the reasons karma come and bonds with our soul. Moha means that is mine, rag means like, dvesh means different. If you have moha, rag, and dvesh, then you have many desires, just like a never-ending bucket list. Types of karma. There are two types of karma, bhav karma and dravya karma. Bhav karma is when the uday of karma takes place when jeev does moha, rag, or dvesh. Bhav karma is on the inside of you, soul, unlike dravya karma, which is on the outside, karma body. Dravya karma is when you do moha, rag, and dvesh. It attracts karma and varganai, which gets bonded with the soul, and that is dravya karma. What are the benefits of knowing karma? The benefit of knowing karma is that it will be easier to defeat karma than if you did not know about karma. It's like a movie. If you don't know the villain, karma, then you can't defeat the villain. And you can defeat karma by having samyak darshan, right belief, samyak gyan, right knowledge, and samyak charita, right conduct. How to get rid of karma? सम्यक दर्शन प्राप्त करेंगे, सब भयों से नहीं डरेंगे, सब तत्व का ज्ञान करेंगे, जीव जीव पहचान करेंगे, स्वपर भेद विज्ञान करेंगे, निजानंद का पान करेंगे, पंच प्रभु का ध्यान धरेंगे, गुरुजन का सम्मान करेंगे, जिनवाणी का श्रवण करेंगे, पठन करेंगे, मनन करेंगे, रात्रि भोजन नहीं करेंगे, बिना चना जल काम न लेंगे, निज स्वभाव को प्राप्त करेंगे, मोह भाव का नाश करेंगे, राग द्वेष का त्याग करेंगे, और अधिक क्या बोलो बालक, भक्त नहीं भगवान बनेंगे. Jai Jinendra, thank you Prabha Auntie for giving me this opportunity. And thank you Mom, Dad, and Shraddha Auntie for teaching me about karma. Jai Jinendra.
Oh, Jai Jinendra, Jai Jinendra. Very good, very good. Very simple, sweet, short, and to the point. Thank you, Yashvi, for your presentation. And now I would like to talk about today's Dasalakshan Parva day, and that is Uttam Brahmacharya. So I'll be taking at least 10 minutes to talk about Uttam Brahmacharya, and then we'll have the question answer session. And during the question answer session, we'll have a lot more learning. So today is the 10th day of Dasalakshan, and it is Uttama Brahmacharya. So the word Uttama refers to Samyak Darshan Samyak Gya. Uttama in English means supreme, and Brahmacharya means celibacy. So supreme celibacy. But when you look at the word celibacy, you just understand that it is refraining from sexual activities. But Brahmacharya has a deeper connotation, and I would like to write something on the board and request you to kindly note it down if you're really keen to know about this subject. If I can share the whiteboard. Yeah, please, I request you to kindly note down these things. It'll be good for all of us. So the word Brahma, if you split the word Brahmacharya, you get it like this: Brahma plus Charya. Now this Brahma has three connotations and Charya has three connotations. So the first one is Brahma refers to Atma, Atma, and Charya refers to Raman, Atma Raman, that is absorption in the pure soul, absorption in the pure self that we are. That is Brahmacharya. Second, how do we do this? Through Vidya Adhyayana, that is through scriptural study. So Vidya Adhyayana, scriptural study, also is a part of Brahmacharya. And then what happens is Virya Rakshan. Virya means all our energy, and we protect our energy. We don't allow it to get diluted with mundane affairs. So Virya Rakshan. Okay. So first I told you Atma Raman is absorption in the pure soul. And how do you do that? Through scriptural study, that is Vidya Adhyayana. And when you take to this, you take to self-restraint and your energy is not drained out in material affairs. So Brahmacharya does not refer to just abstinence from sexual activities. It also means abstinence, complete abstinence from sensual and sexual activities. So you can say Vishay and Kashay. Okay, so just as a tortoise withdraws its limbs inside and it protects itself from all the dangers outside. So we have a very beautiful example of two kurma in the Gyata Dharm Katha Sutra. So the story goes like this, that in Banaras, there was a very big, the woods, woods, jungle type. And there the two tortoises lived in the waters over there. In the deep woods, there were lakes. And in one of the lakes, the two tortoises lived. And in the woods lived two papi sial, that is two wolves who were very fond of eating flesh. And they were always searching for flesh and blood. And so these two kind of papi sial, they call them, the two wolves, they were living there. So once it so happened that these two tortoises came out of the pond, and they were roaming in that deep woods. And that is when these two wolves see them, and these tortoises also see them, seeing them. And what do they both do? They withdraw all their limbs inside, their two hands, two legs, and their face, their neck. They put it in the shell. And these wolves wait for a very long time for these tortoises to bring out their limbs so that they can attack them and have treat themselves on the flesh of the tortoises. But one tortoise is not very smart, and he's not very patient. He's not mastered his self, or he's not mastered the Brahmacharya, self-restraint. And so when these wolves go away, and there they go far, and they wait to see that these two tortoises come out of their shells. And one tortoise is not smart, and he first removes his one hand. And these wolves are very alert, and they come and they attack him, and they eat away his hand. Then again it goes on. There's a lot of description about this in the Gyata Dharm Katha Sutra. And then again they go away, and again this tortoise removes the other hand, and then the other leg, and then the other neck, and one by one, they come again and again and eat away the tortoise. But the other tortoise waits patiently, endlessly he waits for the danger to vanish. And then he first removes his neck, not even his neck, he just removes his face first. He sees here and there, he examines very quickly if there is any danger. And then when he sees that, when he senses that there's no danger, the wolves have gone, he brings out his neck and all his hands and legs, and quickly he runs away to the lake where he lived. So this example is given for not to explain the nature of the tortoise and the wolf. But if you take the Gyata Dharm Katha Sutra, it is told that the first tortoise is like a Papa Shraman. The so-called Munis and Sadhus and Sadhvis and Shravak and Shravika who don't have self-control, who have no wisdom, and they're allowing their senses to rule them, and they are eaten away by the karma. Eaten away means they are, their peace is eaten away by the karma, they are the wolves. And then the second tortoise is the Samyak Drishti Sadhu, Sadhvi, Shravak, Shravika, the Jain practitioners who are having the right vision. So they are like the second tortoise, who are extremely patient, extremely smart, extremely wise, and extremely, they have this control over their senses and the mind, and they remain in their shells and they never come out of it. And even if they have to come out, they are very alert and careful about the activities they do, about the karmas they invite. So this message is told in an analogical form of the two tortoises. So you can read the Gyata Dharma Katha Sutra. It's a beautiful text with almost 15, 16 stories, beautiful stories over there. So if I can start, I will tell you more things, but then I know what I have to do. So I'll just confine myself to the topic. So now I hope you understand that self-restraint, without self-restraint, nobody can follow brahmacharya, and mere self-restraint is not going to be uttama brahmacharya. So that self-restraint should be preceded by right understanding of reality. That is samyak darshan, samyak gyan. Only then the brahmacharya that you follow will come under the category of samyak charitra. Otherwise, it is charitra, but it cannot beget moksha. It can get you good karma. It can get you stay in the higher existences of Devalok eventually, but not liberation. So for liberation, it should be Uttama Brahmachari. I'm reminded of Arjun. When Dronacharya was teaching all the Kauravas and Pandavas archery, and he was asking them to aim, then he asked all of them, what is it that you see? He wanted everybody to hit the eyeball of the eye of the bird sitting on that huge tree. And when everybody came one by one, he asked them, what is it that you see? Then somebody said, I see the tree. Somebody said, I see you, Gurudev. Somebody said, I see the bird, etc., etc., etc. But when Arjun came, he said, I don't see anything other than the eyeball of that bird. So, and that much focused he was, so he was a great archer. So likewise, when we have the focus, one pointed focus of the eternal pure self, only then we can realize it. Only then we can purify it, and only then we can conquer it and become the masters of the self. And only those who are the masters of the self will be the masters of the universe in the Jain tradition. So we see that in Jainism, we have the 5 indriya. The karma, in Vedant, they have the 5 karmendriya and the 5, the bhogendriya. So the 5 senses come under, by which you enjoy the material pleasures, they are the bhogendriya. And then the karmendriya, your motor organs, your hands and legs, etc., they come under karmendriya. But in Jainism, we don't have this karmendriya and concept. They say that out of the 5 sense organs, 2 are kamendriya and 3 are bhogendriya. Indriya means sense organs. Kama means merely looking at it or merely hearing about it, your senses are aroused. Okay, so the ears and the eyes come under kamendriya. And the other 3, the lower 3, the nose, the tongue, and the touch. For this, the sense object have to come in contact. Okay, then only the bhog will start. Then only the enjoyment of it will start. So these lower 3 are just the bhogendriya, and the top 2 are the kamendriya. Mere listening to it, you want to have it, or you want to get it, or you want to enjoy it. So when you want it, this desire is the root cause of all karma. And from where does the desire spring? It springs from ignorance. It springs from disinterest in the self, disinterest in the eternal pure self. So Atma is Brahmacharya Swarupa. Atma is divine. Atma is like Siddha Bhagwan. Atma is pure consciousness. But this consciousness is not interested in the consciousness, and it is interested in whatever it is conscious about. So that is called Gyeyo. Gyeyo me it is interested. It is not interested in Gyan. Okay, so to make it interested in its own self, we have all the Jain festival days. So whether it is Mahavir Kalyanak, or whether it is Nirvan Kalyanak of Bhagwan, whether it is Parshnath Kalyanak, all Jain festival days are meant for retreating in the soul. It's a spiritual retreat, all Jain festivals. So likewise, we have the Paryushan and the Dasalakshan, the Chaturmas. All these periods are the time when we should rejoice being in the self. Only when we rejoice being in the self through Samyak Darshan Gyan Charitra, only then we will tap the infinite inherent potential that is there in us and manifest it. And if we don't manifest it, we will continue to remain in the cycle of transmigration. So not just one, there are thousands of Jain texts and scriptures which talk about it. The great legendary acharyas have written beautiful things about all this Dasalakshan and 12 bhavanas and Ratnatre. So it goes on and on. So there's one very beautiful quote, which says, "Jhoota hai sansar, aankh khol kar dekho." And the second line says, "Sacha hai atma, aankh band karke dekho." That means what? Open your eyes and see that how fake, or how the world, the mundane world, is full of false promises and illusion and delusion and all that. And then the second line says, close your eyes and see that how true yourself is. That is why you see all the Tirthankar images, their eyes are semi-closed or semi-opened, and they are having the Nashagra Drishti, and they are looking at their own self. And they are telling us silently, come unto thyself, know thyself. But we have a little nose on our face, but we don't see this nose. These eyes open up to the world and we are seeing everything outside. Whereas Bhagwan Atma is so near to our own self, nearer to the nose that we have. But we don't see it so near, we don't have that insight. We don't have that far sight. We don't have that foresight. So that sight, is mithyatva. And because of that, only the abrahmacharya we are into, and that causes all the problem. Now, the Shastra also talk about external and internal forms of brahmacharya. So external is control of the senses and the mind, and internal is absorption in the self. Mere external will not liberate us, and mere internal without the external also will not liberate us. Both have to go hand in hand. And this has been demonstrated by all our Tirthankars. They understood the soul first, the value of internal brahmacharya. They internalized the Jain philosophy, and then they went to the forest and took to the external ways of brahmacharya to perfect the internal one. So mere external forms of brahmacharya is not brahmacharya, but it is for a purpose of internalizing the self. When you internalize the self, there will be a dynamite, there'll be a revolution in the soul, and that is when that dynamite will clear all the karmic bondage, and clear all the heaps of karma, and what happens is enlightenment, or keval gyan, or moksha. So we all are upasak of Vitaragi. We all are devotees of those who have conquered raga dvesha, those who have conquered attachment and aversion. So they are Vitarag, they are beyond attachment and aversion. And so a practitioner of the Vitarag, a follower of Vitarag Bhagwan, will believe in Vitaragata. He knows the methodology of Vitaragata. He knows how to go beyond attachment and aversion, even though he may be taking to it because of his karmic uday. Okay, friends. So these are the few things that I wanted to tell you about Uttam Brahmacharya. And tomorrow we'll be having our last talk, and I'll be delivering the talk on true non-violence. So being in this pure self is true non-violence. That we will discuss it tomorrow and celebrate it with the Kshama Vani. And now I think we can have the question answers. Vimenji, Do I have your permission for the question answer session?
Yes,
all of
please
you
go
are
ahead.
ready?
No, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Dimenji. Yes, all of you are ready. I want you all to raise your hands for the questions that I'm going to ask you. And I want you all to compete with each other. Please ask me, ma'am, I'm here, I want to tell the answer. Be like a child, enthusiastic, right? Sarojini ji, she's been with us throughout and always her video is open. Thank you so much, Sarojini ji. Claudia is there. And yes, Yashvi also can answer. Brahmachari Chaitanya Prakash ji is there. Yes, so here follows the questions from Yashvi's session and from Swanubhuti ji session. Okay, so very simple questions. The first question, what is karma? What is karma? What did Swanubhuti say and what did Yashvi say?
Reaction, action, reaction.
Very good. Karma means action and it is also a reaction. Very good. The second question is, what example did Yashvi give and what example did Swanubhuti ji give to explain karma?
Swanubhuti gave the example of the ball, bouncing ball. But I missed the young person's talk today because I have to go. I don't know her information.
Okay, somebody else can answer. What did she call karma as in her presentation? In a movie, I give you a hint, movie. How many of you listen? Yes, Atulji, you can answer.
No, I will let her answer first. She's my daughter, so I can answer.
Very good, very good. Who said that? Who said that?
That was
Yes.
this is Hara
Yes, Yashvi called karma as villain. Okay, it is the villain. We are all the hero. The Atma, the consciousness is the hero, but the hero is not aware of its potential and it is overpowered by the villain. So in the movie, the hero has to fight the villain and all the villains are knocked out in all movies until unless you have part 2, part 3, part 4, where the villain keeps on coming in different get-ups and then the story goes on. So very good, Yashvi. So ball example also was good. Keep tapping the ball and that ball is the karma, but you're tapping the ball is a real karma, right? So action and reaction. Very good. Now the second question is, yes, I'm taking out the question. Who can stop the chain of action and reaction? Who can stop the chain of action reaction? That is karma and karma phala.
Consciousness,
Only
my consciousness.
Yeah, only yourself.
Our consciousness, ourself.
Very good. Very good. Swanubhuti ji used the word enlightened consciousness. Enlightened, evolved consciousness. An enlightened consciousness only can stop the chain of action and reaction. An ignorant soul does not know. It thinks the ball is the cause of my suffering. It does not know that, oh, I'm causing the karma, I'm attracting the karma to me. Very good. Now, the third question is, what is the cause of karma? What is the cause of karma? This is from Yashvi's presentation. She made a lovely slide.
Moharaga and Dvesh.
Very good. Moharaga Dvesha. Can you highlight it a little? What is Moharaga Dvesh?
The being too attracted to, being too interested in, holding it too closely.
Very good. So that is being attracted is rag.
Attachment and detachment.
Yeah, attachment, holding.
Very good. I'll tell it to you in my way. Not knowing the pure soul is delusion. And when you're in a deluded state, either you will have attachment or aversion at a particular time. If it is attachment for one person, one thing, one person, one place, then it means it is dvesh or aversion for all other things. So another way is you are having aversion towards your own self. That is why you have attachment for the world outside. And when you get attached to your inner world, you don't have to hate the outside world, but you just overcome the delusion and you remain equanimous towards it. So very good. That was the question of Yashvi and the answer from you. Thank you so much. Now the third question is, she spoke about the body language. So what do you do to get the body language right? What do you do to get the body language right? So Anubhuti ji used a few things to explain about body language. So if you have paid attention, you will really get the answer from your upyog, from your mind. What
If we think inside as an honest way, if we are true to ourselves, then
very good.
Automatically that expression comes on the face.
Very
the body
good. Very,
language.
very good. Who said this? Whose answer is this?
Sarojini.
Very good. That's the answer. So what you feel inside regulates the body outside. And it is told that the root cause of all the diseases is there in your subconscious mind. So when you heal the conscious mind, the subconscious mind gets healed, and in the process, the physical body also gets healed. So it's all a healing and a cleansing process. Very good, very good. Next question is, why do we get angry or sad? Why do we get angry or sad? You can also introspect and logically rationalize, and you can tell, why do we get angry or sad?
Because we think something that happened to us was real.
Very good. We only see the nimit, we only see the external agent. So we put all the blame on that. We don't see the real cause of the karma that is in us. So that is the cause of our anger and our misery. Now, the question is, she used two words, the two factors that determine any event. What are those? They are technical terms, Jane, metaphysical technical terms, if you can give it. Sir, Zoom user, sir, aapka naam, you will have to unmute yourself to talk. I think...
Surendra Singhvi.
Yes, Surendra Singhvi ji, aapka naam.
Nimit and Upadan.
Very good, very good. Nimit and Upadan. So Nimit is the external agent and Upadan is the potential cause. Very good. So is visible cause, the external cause, the real cause of our suffering? The next question, is the visible cause, the external cause, the instrumental cause, the real cause of our suffering?
No.
Yeah. So then the real cause is our own ignorance, our own short-sightedness. Okay. So now she used the names of 6 karak, the 6 karak, the 6 cases that determine any event. If I can have it in the technical terms or in the English, it's okay.
Action, sadhana. Doer is an action, right?
Correct, Sarojini ji.
Not going further, it's not coming out.
Can I tell that?
Hello.
Yes, please.
Hello. Anybody there?
Can I tell?
Please unmute yourself and talk, sir. I had to mute because there was some disturbance.
Oh, okay. It is a karta, karma, karan, sampradhan, apadan, and adhikaran.
Very good, very good. He's given the technical names. I will just very quickly explain to you in a minute. It's a very, very important thing. So we have to look at a potter making a pot. A potter making a pot. So the potter is the karta, the doer. The pot is the deed, that is the karma. And the clay out of which he makes it is the instrument, that is Karana. For whom is he making the pot? To fill water. So that is the Sampradhan Karak. Sampradhan means for whom are you doing it? Okay. And then from where is he taking the clay? He's taking the clay from a basket. He's taking the mud from the basket. So that is the Apadan. And then where is he making the pot? On the wheel, on the ground. So that is the base. That is the base. So in this example, the potter, the pot, the clay, the basket, the ground, and for whom is he making the pot? All these six are six different things. There are six different people and six different things they are. Okay. So, but actually speaking, now who is the doer of the pot? We would say the potter is the doer of the pot. Okay. An engineer cannot make a pot. A doctor is not making the pot. It's the potter who is the doer of the pot. No doubt about it. So if the potter is the doer, then give the pot some gold. Give the pot some wheat flour and ask him to make a pot out of it. Can he make a pot out of it? Give him some fine cloth. Ask him to make a pot. He cannot make a pot. Because the quality of getting converted into a pot is in the clay only. So the clay is said to be the karta. The clay or the mud is the karta, and the what is shaped out of it is the karma. The pot is the karma. And what is the means? The clay is the means. And for whom you're doing, once the pot breaks, it does not go back to the potter's house. It goes back to clay only. It is lying in the form of clay only, clay or mud or whatever it is. So there, the fourth case, Sampradhan, is also the clay only. Then from where is he taking it? He's taking it from another earth. From the earth, he's taking the clay and he's making it. So there also it is earth, here also it is the earth. And what is the basis? The earth is the basis. The clay is the basis. So in the real way, if you see, the doer, the deed, the instrument, and all the six karak are within the same substance. They are not there outside. Now let us try to put this on our Dasalakshan and Paryushan festival. So what they are telling is that Atma is the karta. Okay, Atma is the karta. Atma is the karma. Atma is the karana. Atma is all the shatkarak. So we can say Atma means Gyan Swabhav, the knowing nature. So the knowing nature is the karta, that knowing is the karma, that knowing is the instrument, and for knowing, from the knowing, in the knowing, moksha happens. Enlightenment happens, okay, within one's own self. So at that time, all the six karak, shat karak are at play. So that is how we have to understand. So the shat karak are the upadan, and Dev, Guru, Shastra, God, masters, the scriptures, they are all the external agents driving us home, telling us to come home unto ourselves. So that was a question. So who is the karta or the doer? The question is, who is the karta or the doer? Is the karma responsible for us, or are we responsible for the karma? Then Jainism says no. Nobody is responsible for each other. Each one is responsible for himself or itself. And there is a causal relation between the two. There is a causal relation, nimit naimetik sambandh between the two. That is what we have to understand. Now the last question is, what is the karma of Jnani and Ajnani? What is the karma of Jnani and Ajnani? That is an ignorant person and a wise person. And I would like you to give me at least 3 examples given in today's lecture. I think there were at least 10 examples given by both the speakers. So you give me just 3 examples. Yes, this is the last question. Who would like to take it? You're welcome. I hope you got the question. What is the karma of Jnani and Ajnani? Anybody? Sarojini ji, would you like to try? Yashvi, would you like to try? Brahmachari ji? Sarojini ji, please unmute yourself.
I didn't hear today whole lecture today, but the question was Jnani and Ajnani. Jnani is like a conscious Atma who is really into Atma in soul. He looks at the things differently with Samta Bhav. And Ajnani thinks it's really happening to me. It's me. My body is me. That's just, but I didn't hear the lecture. I don't have any examples or anything like that.
Okay, okay. So the karma of Jnani is the pure consciousness.
Okay.
And the karma of Ajnani is the activities of body, mind, speech, and everything. Okay, the pure consciousness which manifests is the actual deed of the karta of the consciousness. Everything else is external and momentary and ephemeral and linked to karmic bondage and suffering. So we have to realize the pure consciousness. Only then all the karmic shedding will happen, and realizing that pure consciousness is samyak darshan, samyak jnana, and enjoying that pure consciousness is brahmacharya. Being in that is brahmacharya. Otherwise, it is only karma. Which karma? The podgalic karma, the material karma. Okay, now the 3 examples, anybody can give me? 3 examples. She gave a spectrum of examples. I have written down 6, 7. Anybody would like to try? You'll have to unmute yourself and try, dear. Okay, so Dhimenji, would you like to try? If I can ask you, I don't know. Shanti sir, were you there? Okay, so I'll give you the answers quickly. Yes, who is that? We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Just briefly joined, Prabha. I just briefly joined. Are we done?
It's okay if you can't tune in, Prabhaji. Network issues looks at your end. I'll tell you some examples. She spoke about input. So in the computer system, there is an input file and then there's an output file. If your input is man, vachan, kai, karma, the output will be some gati, some existence we have to be reborn. So the input is activities of mind, body, speech, and the output will be the birth and death cycle. So stop the input. Stop the input, that is stop the ball. Stop hitting the ball. And then slowly already the pressure that you have applied on the ball, that much of births only you will have. And those births are to terminate all the births, the cycle of birth and death. Then she gave the example of visa. You enter into a country and you don't have the visa and you say, oh, I didn't know that I have to get a visa. So they are not going to leave you for your ignorance. They will punish you. So likewise, whether you know it or not, whether you're ignorant or not, karma will punish us. So it's a natural mechanical law which works automatically. Okay. And then she gave the example of the ball, and then she gave the example of the bicycle. So you keep on pedaling the bicycle without removing it from the stand. So once you've pedaled the bicycle, it goes on and on for some time, and then you take away your leg. But still the pedals will go on for some time because of the pressure that you have applied earlier. So likewise, the karma cycle works. Very good. So this brings me to the end of the question answer session. And I hope you all enjoyed today's session and really got an insight into what the Tirthankar Bhagwans have preached and how they have lived and what is it that they want from us. Not want from us, but what is it they want us to want from our own selves. So yes, anybody has any questions, remarks, suggestions, observations? we'll take it for a couple of minutes. Yes, Surendraji, please unmute yourself and talk. Surendraji, you're on mute.
Where is Prabhaji today?
Prabhaji is traveling. She was busy today, so I'm sorry I had to take her place.
That's okay.
But she's there with us, but she cannot interact because of network issues at her end. Yes, we all miss her today.
Tomorrow is the same time, right? Tomorrow's
Pardon?
session is same time.
Same time. Tomorrow is the grand finale of our 18 days celebration. I request you all to be present. Yes, can I have your suggestion for today, your observation? 3 things, 3 takeaways from today's lecture. Quickly, otherwise we'll be closing. Yashvi, what did you learn today, Yashvi, from Swanubhutiji's lecture? We all have the intellectuals of tomorrow.
Action
Prabhaji
and action and reaction is the one thing I learned.
Very
and
good.
Karma is the cycle. I don't know about the visa, which is ignorance, but that's not going to do it. That's second one. Bouncing ball, we have to stop it in order to stop the karma, input and output. That's the way I remember.
Very good, very good. Yeah, we are done with the question answer sessions, Prabhaji and Shantiji. And yes, 2 more observations will take it and then we are closing. What have you learned from today's lecture? Yes, Claudia, I can see you unmute.
My favorite line was when she said, karma has no consciousness and this is in our favor.
Very good, very good, very good, very good. Karma has no consciousness and that works in our favor. Had they had consciousness, they would have manipulated us. We would not have had the freedom of will for bondage or for liberation. Very good. Yes, last observation, please. Last observation, please.
Priyaji, I have a
We are closing. We are closing. Hello. Hello.
We have to focus on our karmas, our karma, not to bind any karma. So that's the
very good.
Comparison was good.
Very good. We have to focus on our consciousness, and then automatically the karmic inflow and bondage will get arrested. Very good observations. Thank you all for your patient listening. Now we bring the meeting to a close.
Thank you very much, Priyadarshanaji. I it's really a lot of effort you put, Prabhaji and Priyadarshanaji. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So we'll do the prayer.
I have to work tomorrow, so I will miss it. But thank you all for your generosity in including me. Thank you.
Thank you. Khamemi Savve Jiva Khamantu me Mitti me Sava Bhuesu Veram Majamna Kenai. I forgive all creatures. May all living beings forgive me. I have no enmity for anybody, and I'm friendly towards all creatures. Sahajanandi Shuddha Swarupi Avinashi Hu Atma Swarup. Sahajanandi Shuddha Swarupi Avinashi Hu Atma Swarup. Sahajanandi Shuddha Swarupi Avinashi Hu Atma Swarup. This is about the nature of the pure soul, which is eternal, natural, that is called Sahaj, and it is all blissful, and it is of the nature of the Atma. Nij nidhi nij mein batai, यह अनंत उपकार है, इसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है. The great Jinvani has given us our inner treasure, and for this I bow down to it. Thank you all. Jai Jinendra.
Jai Jinendra to everyone.